So let's dive right into the Star Wars news. They got tons of news that they've been announcing. So according to StarWars.com, and they mostly seem to have announced a lot of the big things on Friday. There's nothing on this website on the StarWars.com website for Sunday announcements here. So first thing we got, okay, there's some Lego Group Star Wars dioramas. Oh, that's interesting stuff. So first thing is the Ahsoka trailer is here. So let's see, and the new poster. I'm going to put that up on the screen there. Let's say here, the trailer for Ahsoka coming August 2023 to Disney Plus has revealed today during Lucasfilm Studio Showcase. Yeah, this was on Friday. Star Wars Celebration Europe 2023. A major moment for the title character and her longtime fans. The trailer features Rosario Dawson, who plays Ahsoka Tano, in addition to Sabine Wren. These are characters from Rebels, if you saw Star Wars Rebels, which is a great show. If you haven't checked it out, you might want to do that. Sabine Wren, she's a Mandalorian. Hera Syndulla, she's the green Twilight lady, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And our favorite grumpy droid, Chopper, among others, clearly incorporating elements from the beloved Star Wars Rebels animated series and The Mandalorian. Yeah, this is mostly throwback to Star Wars Rebels there. So it's bringing back all these characters. I'm wondering if if the main character Ahsoka is going to be looking for Ezra Bridger, who is another one of the main characters from that show, because he went missing with Thrawn. And we saw in this trailer there's something going on. We see the back, like just the back of his head of Thrawn. And they even mention an old storyline from the expanded universe of Star Wars. It's called Heir to the Empire. So after the Empire has fallen, now I guess Thrawn is going to take over. I don't think they're going to be doing that legend storyline, but it's nice that they mentioned that there, because there's a lot of fans of that. So Thrawn and Ezra Bridger went missing, and so I'm guessing that they're going to be looking for him. And who knows how much Thrawn we're going to be getting. Grand Admiral Thrawn. I tried looking up on IMDb, and then I tried Rotten Tomatoes looking for any information on Ahsoka, see if they had a cast list or anything, and there's nothing up on either of them. So in addition to those characters, we also see Genevieve O'Reilly is back as Senator Mon Mothma. We saw her a lot recently in Star Wars Andor show. And we've seen her before in some of the prequel movies. She was in 2 and 3. I know she was in some deleted scenes from 3. Revenge of the Sith. So they had a bunch of the cast members there. What do we got here? We got Natasha Liu, who plays Sabine Wren. Mary Elizabeth Winstead joined Rosario Dawson on stage for Ahsoka. Dave Filoni was there. Got a beautiful new poster there. It's just all Rosario, close up of Rosario Dawson there, dressed up as Ahsoka. This is one of the more fan favorite characters from Star Wars. I'm looking forward to this. We did see her a couple of times already. We saw her in one episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian, titled The Jedi, and then we saw her again pop up in, what was that? I think it was in Book of Boba Fett, when they cut to Luke Skywalker with Grogu. That's Baby Yoda there, and then Ahsoka was there for a quick cameo appearance, which wasn't really necessary, but it was nice to see her. So we're getting a lot of those fan favorite characters. This is coming in August. I'm already on board, but with the state of how things have been going for Star Wars on Disney Plus, which we're going to talk about later in this episode, I don't know. Hopefully it's a big hit. We'll see. Any fans of Star Wars Rebels out there, or the Ahsoka character, or any of the other characters from Rebels there, which we see in the trailer? Hera Syndulla, Sabine Wren, Chopper, Grand Admiral Thrawn. There was a couple of dark side users in this trailer, and maybe it was just me, but to me their lightsabers, they looked more orange than they did red. Did anyone else find that? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Are you excited for this show? I am. I don't know what Christine is gonna say, but she'll be back, and she's just visiting her family right now. Let us know your thoughts on this down in the comments below. Next piece of news from Star Wars Celebration is they announced 3 new Star Wars movies. I have mixed feelings on this, but let me just go through the announcement here that's on the Star Wars website there. So, Lucasfilm Star Wars Celebration, Kathleen Kennedy announced that 3 new live-action Star Wars films are on the way. Helming the movies are James Mangold, who just finished making Indiana Jones 5, and they've been talking about that a lot at Star Wars Celebration. Dave Filoni, he's the guy. He's the guy who always wears the cowboy hat. He's behind Star Wars Rebels. Him and George Lucas made Clone Wars. And so he's bringing a lot of his animated characters, including the ones from Rebels, to live action now. And Academy Award and Emmy Award winning director Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, who made Ms. Marvel, Disney Plus series from last year, and Saving Face. I don't know that one. Let's see what they say on this. James Mangold's movie will go back to the Dawn of the Jedi. So that's going to be like, that's like old Republic stuff. That has nothing to do with any of the movies ever we've seen. We might see an appearance of Yoda. That might be the only character that would be alive. While Dave Filoni will focus on the New Republic and close out the interconnected stories told in The Mandalorian, The Book of Boba Fett, Ahsoka, and the Disney Plus series. That was my understanding. What they're going to do is they're going to have a big movie that culminates in the end of the Mandalorian show, and then wrap up all the other storylines from the other series. And Charmaine Obaid-Chinoy's film will be set after the events of Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, and building a new Jedi Order. What do we got here? So they released a picture there of all 3 of them on stage there with Kathleen Kennedy. She's the head of Lucasfilm. I have mixed feelings about this. I would love to see all of these things, but I mean, it's been how many years now, and we've had so many announced Star Wars projects, and they just keep firing everyone over at Star Wars there at Lucasfilm. I don't understand what's happening. I mean, at one point, Kevin Feige, who's the head of Marvel Studios, was going to be producing a Star Wars movie. That's not really happening, although she did address some questions about that. Patty Jenkins, who directed the Wonder Woman films, supposed to be doing Rogue Squadron. That's been taken off the release calendar. There's no work being done on that. It might still happen, according to Kathleen Kennedy. Who else has come and gone from there? Recently, Damon Lindelof, which I'm not really a big fan of his work, but he's done a lot of big things in television. He recently left Lucasfilm. He was developing something there. They had hired Benioff and Weiss, who are the showrunners for Game of Thrones. They were going to be doing stuff, and now they've gone. They were fired. Taika Waititi, who made Thor Love and Thunder, as well as Thor Ragnarok. And he was in Star Wars. He was in The Mandalorian. He did direct an episode of the first season of Mandalorian, and he does the voice of IG-11. He was going to be doing a Star Wars movie. Now apparently he's left. It's just kind of a mess. So it's great that they announced these 3 films, but I'll believe it when I see it. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Are you excited for any of these films? Do you think any of these films are going to happen? I mean, James Mangold just made Indiana Jones, so he's already working with Lucasfilm. Hopefully that happens. Dave Filoni, he's been working at Lucasfilm forever since they started making Clone Wars years ago. I don't even remember, when did Clone Wars start? I'm gonna look that up. Star Wars Clone Wars should come up here. 2003? Is that right? Huh. Is that the movie? Oh, that's a different movie. No, that's not the right thing there. Star Wars Clone Wars. Let's see what we got here. Because there's a few things. There was a Clone Wars movie that was made. That was an animated movie that was made. And then we got... What do we got here? My computer's acting up on me here. Star Wars. It's too many Star Wars things here. Star Wars: The Clone Wars, 2008. Yeah, that's the movie. So originally there's a Star Wars Clone Wars movie. It was like a made for TV movie, and then that led into the series. So that came out in 2008. So then the show would have picked up either in 2008 or 2009. It doesn't have good ratings on that. But then again, the first two seasons of Clone Wars weren't very good. If you're looking at getting into Star Wars Clone Wars, I would say watch the Clone Wars animated movie. Just kind of get through that. It does feature the first appearance of Ahsoka Tano when she was a Padawan, and then you can just jump right to the first episode of season 3 of Clone Wars, because you're not missing anything from the first 2 seasons, and you don't want to suffer through that. It is not very good. The rest is great though. And then if you're really into it, you could always go back and watch the first 2 seasons. But if you're just a glutton for punishment, I guess. It does have some fun stuff in it, but it's really just villain of the week. There's no stakes because all the characters are in the movies and they're in the next movie. So, and it's just different villains. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of those first 2 seasons myself. Where are we here? Okay, so Ahsoka trailer. Looking forward to that. Indiana Jones 5 trailer, which we talked about in the previous episode. Next, they announced on Saturday that Star Wars Return of the Jedi from 1983 is returning to theaters for the 40th anniversary. Do they say when that was? Now, re-releases don't usually do very well in theaters, but it is Star Wars. I might go see that, actually. I wonder when that's coming out. Return of the Jedi, return to theaters. Let's see if they put the date on here for when it will actually be released. Starting April 28th, Return of the Jedi will return to select theaters in the US and UK and other regions for a limited time. I wonder if that will come here. As with the 40th anniversary screenings of Star Wars Empire Strikes Back in 2020. I must have missed that. Anyway. Oh, and they released a new poster for it. That's interesting. If that comes out here, I mean, I can watch Star Wars Return of the Jedi anytime, but I can't watch it on a big screen, so I might go check that out. That'd be a fun experience. I don't think I've ever seen that in the theater. So, but that's not really big news from Star Wars Celebrations. I mean, it's fun. Let's see what we got here. Hasbro, over 20 Hasbro Star Wars reveals. So that's Hasbro is the toy company. So they're doing all the Star Wars toys there. Hasbro announced more Indiana Jones action figures. Yeah, they've been popping up a lot on social media there with pictures of. They even got like Marcus Brody action figure. They got Old Man Indiana Jones. They got Indiana Jones from Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom Indiana Jones. What else we got here? Star Wars Tales of the Jedi Season 2 announced. So Christine and I reviewed this a couple months back. These were just animated shorts. I think there was 5 or 6 of them. And they just kind of fleshed out the story more. They showed more of Dooku as a Jedi. Oh, here's Penny. Good kitty. I'll bribe her with some treats, see if she'll stay. There you go, Penny. There you go. There was more about Dooku with his Padawan, Qui-Gon Jinn, which we actually got Liam Neeson returned for that, because Liam Neeson likes to return for Star Wars. He's been doing it for years now. He even did it back in Clone Wars. Hey, you want to stay? You want to stay here, Penny? Penny, come on. There you go. There, see if I can get her to stay. There was stuff about in Tales of the Jedi, the first season, for Ahsoka. I didn't really care for those ones. They were just kind of. The first one showed how she was taken from the Jedi when she was an infant to be trained at the Jedi Temple, which that's always been a questionable practice for that. Oh, here it is. Okay, the first season of Tales of the Jedi featured 6 episodes with a split focus on Ahsoka Tano and Count Dooku. That was Christopher Lee's character from we saw in episodes 2 and 3, Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. For more on season 1, check out list of 15 highlights. Stay tuned for StarWars.com. So, doesn't really say how much it's going to be, but we're going to get a second season. So it's just more animated shorts. Well, I'll tune in and check it out. I mean, I have Disney Plus anyway. So a lot of big announcements from Star Wars Celebration, and what else did they do? So there's a lot of cast interviews with the new Star Wars The Acolyte show that's coming out. Don't really know too much about that. I've been trying to watch all these cast interviews. It's just I'm trying to put out these episodes this weekend, so there's some interesting stuff there. Oh, there is a great picture, actually. I wonder if I can find it here. And if I can find it, I'm gonna put it up on the screen here. You guys will love this. What it is, it's the whole cast of The Acolyte. You know, there's Andor. Oh, here it is. So you got Daphne Keane and Amanda Stenberg right in the middle, and then and you got the rest of the cast there. On the one end is there's a Korean actor, and he's the guy from Squid Game. And then on the other end is I can never remember his name, and I can't pronounce it either. But he is the guy. He is the guy who plays. Oh, Carrie-Anne Moss is there. Is she in this picture? I don't know. If she is, I don't recognize her. We got. Hold on, I'm gonna look it up on The Acolyte on Rotten Tomatoes. See if we get anything here. They haven't really announced much yet, and so there's nothing that's actually being put up yet. He was in Solo, Star Wars, Solo, a Star Wars story. What is this guy's name? He plays Chewie. Jonas Suotamo. So he's in this picture, and he is about like 2 feet taller than most of the other people, and it's seems like a really nice guy, but it really shows the difference. This guy's really tall. And okay, so we got a lot of cast interviews for The Acolyte. Looking forward to that. I think that's supposed to focus on a Sith character, so it's more of a Sith in training, I believe. I'm guessing that's Daphne Keene's character. We got some news on Star Wars Andor Season 2, so they brought out a lot of the cast, including Diego Luna and Genevieve O'Reilly and a bunch of the other people, so they're talking about Star Wars Season 2. We got a cast appearance for the new Star Wars The Skeleton Crew series, which is supposed to be a bunch of kids finding their way home in the Star Wars universe, and Jude Law is the star of it. Jude Law. Everyone wants to be in Star Wars, so they pretty much have access to unlimited talent. They can call up whoever they want, and it's like, Christian Bale, you want to be in Star Wars? And they if they want to, they'll put him in Star Wars. If they want someone else, they can get pretty much whoever they want. And then the big news, which I don't know how I really feel about this, but big news is when they announced the new movie with that's going to take place after the events of Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. They're bringing back Daisy Ridley is returning to play Rey Skywalker. I don't know how I feel about that. I'm not a huge fan of all the sequel trilogies. Force Awakens was fun, but it really is kind of a nothing movie. It's just the exact same story beats again and again. If I describe the story beats to you you would be hard-pressed to try and figure out, okay, am I talking about Force Awakens or am I talking about the original Star Wars A New Hope from 77? Because it's all just the exact same story beats. So Force Awakens was a fun movie. Last Jedi, I enjoyed it for the most part. I know that's a very divisive film. A lot of fans don't like it. Some people do. I'm fine with it. And then there's Rise of Skywalker, which I'm not going to harp on this, but I'm not really a big fan of it myself. It didn't work for me. If you're a fan of it and you enjoy it, I don't want to take that away from you. I'm jealous that you enjoy that. That is not one that I enjoyed. So I think what they're doing here by bringing Daisy Ridley back, and then they're going to make another movie that's 15 years later, I think they're doing the Warner Brothers DC approach, because if you've been following the DC extended universe for the past 10 years, because it's been going since 2013 with Man of Steel, every time they come out with a movie, if it does well or not, it doesn't matter. They just keep going. Okay, it doesn't matter. First one was bad. Okay, we'll course correct, and we're just going to keep going. Batman v Superman didn't do so great. Okay, we're just going to keep going, and we're just going to keep going. Don't worry about it. If it connects very well to the previous ones, yeah. If it doesn't, don't worry about it. We're just going to keep going. So they're like, okay, Rise of Skywalker wasn't that well received by fans. It still made a lot of money. That film didn't lose money by any stretch, but it's, I don't know, not a lot of fans of it out there that I've found. Most people, actually, I don't want to get into that, but instead they're just going to go, okay, we'll just keep going. We're going to make another movie that's set 15 years later. We're bringing back Daisy Ridley. We'll see if this movie happens. You know, like I said, I'll believe it when I see it. In the meantime, we're just going to keep going. We're going to do something different. If that works, we'll go with that. You know, they're just going to throw a bunch of things at the wall and see what sticks. Hopefully it works out. Am I opposed to seeing Daisy Ridley come back to play Rey Skywalker? No. If anyone wants to know why she's called Rey Skywalker, where's my lightsaber hilt there? There it is. Got my Mace Windu lightsaber. So for this point, some people didn't like how spoiler for Rise of Skywalker. I mean, if you haven't seen this movie, it's been 4 years, and you're a Star Wars fan, what are you doing? At the end of the movie, she decides she's going to call herself Rey Skywalker, and she's got a yellow lightsaber, and she's Rey Skywalker because bloody well she says so. Okay, she's the last Jedi. So does that make her a master? I don't know. She's got a yellow lightsaber. She's defeated the dark side powers. Are you going to mess with her and tell her she's not Rey Skywalker? I'm not. Just because that story didn't go the way I had hoped it would go, or I didn't agree with certain story beats, that's fine. Don't have to like everything. It's art. Maybe you're a big fan of it. Are you excited to see the return of Rey Skywalker? Hopefully she has her big yellow staff lightsaber, because that was made from her old staff that she had on Jakku, which is just a rip-off of Tatooine, I guess. Are you excited to see that? Let me know down in the comments below.